So what I've found, obviously you see there's more damage area, and part of that wasn't really soft. It was fragile because there were some knots. Right here was a knot. I just knocked that one out. But there it's actually fairly solid. But what I have found overall is what you kind of expect, because water likes to go the path of, just like anything else, the path of least resistance. It really doesn't, you know, I say it doesn't want to be trapped. It doesn't have a mind of its own, but it wants to go in between these grooves because that is the path of least resistance, because gravity takes it down. And so it's not really that bad in here. It's pretty solid right here, but of course can't really patch it up like this. You know, gotta really cut this all out, this whole area, and gonna have to see how which way the joists run and everything. Looks like there's a pier right there, so that's a good thing. I mean, right here, yeah, it's pretty darn. That's stout right there. There is no give in that whatsoever. That's right over a beam, which is on a pier. You can kind of even feel the hump in it. You can kind of feel it going up, a little hump to the thing, because that's the way these floors are. These floors slope towards the middle again because they're too long. I put a level on here. I've verified that I've put a level on these floors, and they do slope from the edges to the center. And you know, the idea is eventually to add some piers and some jack them up in the center. That's one of the last things I'm going to do before we put the floor in. But right now, of course, we got to focus on getting all this damage fixed. But again, it's going to tell me that yeah, right here is going to be pretty much the same thing. The good thing that I found is what I hadn't been finding up to this point is everything here has been bad enough where the top of the joist that they're sitting on has some degree of damage. And now you can see in that one right there that obviously I damaged it. And what I did is I hit the hammer just to kind of demonstrate, just to see how deep the water damage went. This one, where it does have the water damage, it wasn't really black, it wasn't really soaked or anything like that, but that's solid. There's no damage there. That's a good thing. So when I originally looked under this floor, that's a lot what I saw, and I couldn't really get in that area, and I think a lot of people couldn't get in that area in that bathroom, and that's why the reason it really wasn't looked at really closely. So, you know, that just shows me that one day that, you know, if I decide to, when I retire, to take up what I want to do is to do building inspections. Instead, I'm going to have to invest in some kind of stick cam, something on a stick that I can run in small spaces, or I think it's called a crawl bot. I had to put some money in a crawl bot, which basically is a drone type thing. It's a little robot with a camera on it that you can go in crawl spaces and get places where the fat man can't. Well, I'm not as fat as I was, but you know, I can't, or I can't get. A lot of people can't get. So. And none of this was really, a lot of this wasn't really noted on the building inspection. I mean, I noted a lot more in my own personal inspection, but I didn't see, like where that area right there, I probably saw a little bit of discoloration, but I accepted that as, you know, like, you know, moisture over. This is a house that was built in 1930s and somewhere thereabouts, so, you know, you're going to have moisture. And this tells me that the reason that they decided to encapsulate this crawl space is they probably had a moisture issue in this house, and so encapsulation followed up by you know, with the dehumidifier will work, but what's going to have to be done is one of the things I will have to do is going to have to. It's supposed to rain tomorrow. I'm going to be watching where the water runs. I know that the yard slopes down from the back of the house and down to the house. I bet water gets under the house when it rains. Gonna have to put some French drains, some what do you call it? The little drains, not clean out, but there's something else it's called. But a catch basins in several places to make sure that the water will go into the ground and out in a pipe and out somewhere rather than under the house.